Okay, we will begin our video tour of the new landscaping. There's no grass. It's the yard's been planted and aerated and all that stuff. Garden's a bit of a trash heap. I dumped everything in there. But let's take a walk around this way and you'll see where the few remaining roses remain. It is getting on wintertime. I mean, it's mid-October. In the back, those were the two 60-foot pine trees that were dead that we had to take down, so I had them cut up, and when they dry out in the spring, we'll have them turned into firewood. I'll have them split. So we'll take a little bit of what we're doing is walking around the yard. If you came off the deck to the left, let me just kind of spin around and let you see. Oh, that's actually the garage. There. Now you recognize where you are. The deck. The new bed that's over there. Micah, who still has not figured out that the yard is not fenced. So what we're going to do is take a walk around the garage in the mud, and then we'll come around the front of the house. And so here's a little bed here, and this is what they call riverjack. These rocks are not here for decoration, but they actually control the water flow as it comes down the yard and streams it in kind of the gully that exists between our house and the neighbors, which you'll be seeing shortly. And we move on to the brickwork, which we had redone before the wedding. And now you can take a nice shot down the row. This was all a bunch of dead junipers and other odd things. These are fire bushes. They've lost most of their leaves for the fall already, but they'll be flaming red and they'll grow into almost a hedge over time. And that's pretty much what our plan is. The fence, let me turn around. Okay, I'm turning toward the neighbors. The neighbor insisted on leaving the tree cut off where the property line ended. We won't talk about that. Okay, we're looking at the neighbors, but we'll turn around now and take a shot up. And that's where the fence is going to go. You see, if you look up there, can't quite see it. Anyway, next to the wood pile, you see a gate up there. The fence will start there, and basically it'll come down along that nice line of mulch, and those are also fire bushes, by the way, cross through the rocks and turn over to the brickwork where we're standing, right here, and we'll have a new gate. And it'll be a nice green fence. Anyway, let's turn around, look at the neighbor's strange foliage, and continue around the house. The trash can was not part of the remodeling. It just lives there. I'm real excited about this grass stuff you see. I know it doesn't look too interesting right now, but when it blooms, it gets these great big fuzzy things that look like wheat, but they're soft and fuzzy, kind of like mop. Or even fluffier. They sort of look like a cattail that has blown open. Now, I really want you, and there's some more of this funny grass. I'll move into the driveway. Now this is a shot that many of you have seen many times on the web, I know. God, I love it. We love it. The one thing you're not going to see is the sprinkler system in action. But let me just turn around here. We'll take a shot. Now, that was dead pyracantha. So there's 4 of these pampas grass plants. The tree in front of you is a dogwood. And then there are 4 plants that put out beautiful pink and blue flowers. And a little blue spruce we call a globe. He just sits there by himself as kind of an accent. And then my big splurge was this Bloodgood maple. Unfortunately, it's lost its leaves pretty much for the fall, but these are those really, really intense maples that you see. Let me see if I can zoom in and find one leaf in really good shape. As a matter of fact, there's a couple right there. You see that shape? That really sharp cut? Anyway, it'll be all full of these. So that was kind of a splurge, but I always wanted one. And once again, the rocks. Now if you look behind, you see a wall was built, and this is an erosion technique. You see those boulders? There they are. Okay. So, and then the rocks also provide for drainage. And if I don't like them, someday we'll put mulch around there. But this is also to maintain the shape of the beds. Now, while this looks plain, this is all going to be, this has grass seed in it right now, and we're just waiting for the grass to germinate. Unfortunately, it's 60 some degrees, so we might get some grass. Actually, I think I see some along the sidewalk. Speaking of sidewalk, we had our sidewalk repaired. What you're looking at right now is new sidewalk, and what had happened was the tree roots had broken the original sidewalk to the point it was sticking about 6 inches up. It was just a broken ankle and a lawsuit waiting to happen. So we had that repaired as well. Wasn't a big deal, and my landscaper was perfectly capable and willing to do it. Actually, it frightened him when he saw it. Alright, so we'll zoom back. The funny green blanket is also holding, there's a slope there, and it's holding grass seed under it. The rest of the yard is seeded as well, but we don't want any water that runs to just wash that grass seed off, so there's this green blanket which will eventually dissolve. Also, you see rocks around the bed here. There's a pipe. If you see the drain pipe up by the garage, let me zoom in on that guy. It's actually buried under that wall and under the walkway, and then it spills down in the rocks to continue to keep the water running and not erode the beds and not mess up our driveway either. So we'll take another shot here and do a little walk around. I'm not sure how the exposure is. I'm kind of shooting into the sun. All kinds of beautiful flowering things here. We're going to have pink and white and purple that'll flower in these, well, they're not really impressive right now, but these little guys are going to have white and purple and pink flowers come out of them in the spring. Quite a few of those. And of course our pride and joy, right there, the wall with the built-in lights, the existing dogwood. We're surrounded by hollies and some more of the, those are geraniums up there. And right behind us is the family room. You'll notice at this point, except for one case, I've got the Halloween decorations down. So now walking around up our lovely hand-built walk and the steps. Okay. The porch was rebuilt as well. Well, the concrete's original, but all new stucco. There's new wire supporting it. It was severely cracked, and the original set of steps was also completely broken and had to be removed. Fortunately, it came off in one piece, and these were built with those little black things in there. You see those? Those are lights, and they're really cool at night. Anyway, they came on at dusk, and they turn off at dawn. So instead of just lining the porch and hiding the concrete with bushes, which was kind of my thought, we sprinkled hollies back here, and they'll grow up. Oh, this isn't a holly. This is a particular kind of cypress that we really like. It's called a Hinoki cypress. There's one on each side, but we really like that guy. There's 4 of them around the property. Now I'm going to have to walk into the mud a little bit. I'm stepping down here. So I want you to see, again, unfortunately, somebody who's lost his leaves. This is a Japanese cut leaf maple. Really looks ugly right now, and I sure wish it were pretty, but when they grow out, they look like an umbrella, real soft. And they don't grow real, well, some grow tall. We've got neighbors that have got them 8-10 feet tall, but that takes 15-20 years. Anyway, this one should hopefully only grow a couple of feet tall, and then we'll keep trimming it out so it makes kind of an umbrella. And it gets very thick, you can't even see through it, but again, it's wintertime, so it's lost most of its leaves. It too is a very intense red. It then goes through a gold phase, and I'm not sure what it looks like the rest of the year. Again, you see the boulders. These were used, again, you see the end of the wall. I'm stepping back here very carefully. You see how the wall steps down? Well, we needed to keep that dirt all up there to protect so that the bed didn't run down when it rains and just run all over the yard. So we used the boulders, and then we built a little bit of a raised bed for our little maple guy that we like so much. Okay. I'm not a real big fan of the rocks, but they do serve a very important purpose. And those little green plants in there also put out flowers. Everything basically that you see except some of the little evergreens will flower in some direction. Now, I wish I could tip this thing sideways, but you'd have to turn sideways to see it. This is my spruce tree that I planted when I moved here. And Of course, the wall surrounds it. You've seen this before. Now they're almost gone, but these are all roses. And I was just so excited. And apparently they're a very hardy variety of rose as well. I think they're called driftwood roses. Anyway, I wish I could show them to you in full bloom, but they're a lovely pink. And maybe you can get just a little bit of a hint of them there. Alright, well, we'll move around. You see the wall continues, steps down, then we move around the side of the house, which did have a beautiful fire bush at one time, but it had to go. It was completely overgrown and the underside was rotting. So it came out and a holly tree came out. I felt kind of bad about that, but we've started over. And again, these are all flowering plants. I wish I could tell you what everything's going to produce. Some of them put out those big lily type leaves. They're called hostas. And then those are 4, can't remember what they are back there. Anyway, they will grow into a hedge. And in the shadow, let me come up here a little closer because we're coming around the house. We have another holly. You notice the fence is missing here. No fence. There will be a new fence with a special gate that will swing wide enough for the contractors to be able to bring their equipment in. Now, this guy, there was a deadwood here. There was a dogwood here, but it was dead. So there's now a crepe myrtle in its place, and we're looking forward to the flowers that that's going to produce for us as well. All right, we're coming around the house, and boy, am I sliding in the mud. We do have an auto... I just sank in the mud. You can probably hear my feet squishing. I shouldn't be out here, but I did want to do this today. What a mess. Okay. So you see the back of the house. Those are little hollies, and they'll grow up and make big fluffy bushes and eventually cover the back of the foundation, but we didn't want to buy them full grown. And then there's these burgundy